It is finally 5:30. Thank you all for being patient. Welcome to the first meeting of 2026 for Chesterfield County. Call the meeting to order, and I'm going to ask Dr. Brand to please lead us in prayer.
Eternal God, our Father, it's again, Lord, we come before you this afternoon. God, we come in the most humble manner that we know how. Father, the council has assembled for the first time in a brand new year. Father, to come to give an account, God, to what we need to do for the betterment of Chesterfield County. And God, we pray that you will allow us to make the best decisions that will benefit the people of this county. And God, we pray that you will allow us to do it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have the need to adopt the agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And motion by Dr. Brand, second by Mr. Smallwood. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, the approval of the minutes from December 3rd, 2025 regular council meeting. Is there a motion to approve these?
Motion.
Okay.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Price, second by Mr. Kirkley. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, the bonds, payroll, and authorizations are being passed. We have one appointment tonight, Mr. Lloyd Pierce.
I want to thank the council for giving me this opportunity to speak to you. My name is Lloyd Pierce. I'm the manager of Forest Hills Mobile Home Park and Laney Road Mobile Home Park in Sherrall. Now, I've been the manager now for about 2 years. Can you hear me okay?
Can you put the mic a little closer? Yeah,
How about now? Can you hear me okay now?
maybe a little closer. Thank you.
How's that?
That's better.
I'll start over.
Thank you.
My name is Lloyd Pierce. I'm the manager of Forest Hills Mobile Home Park and Laney Road Mobile Home Park in Sherrall. I've been the manager of these two facilities for about 2 years now when they were purchased by Mr. Clinton Willard from Florence. And during this time, we've invested about $600,000 in capital between purchasing the park and renovations of new mobile homes. Well, not new, but used mobile homes that we are renovating and bringing up to spec. We normally bring in mobile homes that are made between the year 2010, 2016. We don't bring anything new because it's not cost effective. Just to try to rent a mobile home that's new, to set up on one of those would be anywhere from $90,000 to $110,000. And for what we could get for rent, it's not practical. In that time, we've added about $6,000 to the county tax payroll. And with each mobile home we get, it adds about another $1,000. Now, the old mobile homes that we have, if we can't replace them, they run about $150 a year versus $1,000. So it's economically advantageous for us to be able to do this for the county. But my question is this moratorium about moving in mobile homes. I've been told by Derek over there that the only thing we can move in now, if we take a mobile home out, we can only move in a new mobile home. And I'm trying to find out why is this when we bring in mobile homes that are good and the quality. I'd love to invite all of you to come out and look at what we've done with this park, and to find out, is this the actual case, or can we still move in older mobile homes as long as we renovate them and bring them in good shape?
Question for the attorney, if I may.
Sure.
Mr. Bryant, what we're doing tonight is just extending the moratorium on establishing mobile home parks, right? Okay, it has nothing to do with what this gentleman is talking about, if I'm correct.
Well, there is a previously passed ordinance that's in place that says what he is referring to. If you have an existing mobile home park, you have to move new mobile homes in it to replace an old one. And that was passed in 2024.
But we do have the temporary moratorium, and we are making considerations for mobile home parks, RV parks, and subdivisions. So that might be something that could be looked at again in that.
Well, we would certainly appreciate it, because if we have to bring in new mobile homes, then we will just restore these old mobile homes that we have. And
It's going
it's
to
going to
raise
make,
his capital outlay, which he can't afford to. But now, if you got an established one, and this is just food for thought, wouldn't he be exempt? He's not. Why? But I know the one down there on Forest Hills, that I know of, been there 25 years.
Well, we'll send all of this over to you guys who are studying this, and then we can come back with another recommendation. And we'll make it public when we're gonna have that meeting, and if you want to come to that, you would be welcome to come to that too.
but until that time, we can't move in anything that's not.
Correct, that's right, yes, sir. But we are moving a lot faster. It has felt like, and it has been a slow process, because to look at all of these things and do it the right way does take time, and we had a planning group from PDCOG helping us, and I think that they're feeling our urgency a little more now, and I think that things are moving a lot faster now.
Yeah, I realize that the council, you don't want a bunch of old junky mobile homes in there. They're an eyesore, and they attract the wrong kind of personnel that we don't want.
Well, I think we just want safety for our residents.
Yeah, and that's what we want, and we want good clientele. We don't want drug dealers. We don't want any kind of that in our parks. We want to be a good, safe place for people to raise a family. But it's very
Madam
difficult
Chair.
in these terms.
Yes, sir.
Concerned about this matter. I'm very concerned about what you just said, 'cause my constituents in that area, they're concerned about that, 'cause right after that mobile home is Greenwood Estate Development, those houses in that area.
I'm having difficulty hearing you.
I said, in that area, right after past the mobile home department you talking about, is Greenwood Estate, where I live, and those houses in that area run anywhere from $300,000 to $350,000, and they don't want to degrade that area with mobile homes that are not sufficient, so that is a major concern.
Yeah.
Mr. Eaton from Codes, would you like to say anything regarding any of this?
Yes. We've spoken about this very same thing. I just spoke to Mr. Curtis about it right before the meeting. And I'm glad you did show up, because I went back and researched the minutes in those meetings. I forget who it was with, but I researched it. And there's one meeting that says they all will be new.
Right.
Then there was another meeting that said the existing mobile home parks would be grandfathered. So yes, we do need a recommendation or something like that. And he is 100% correct. I did tell him, yes, they gotta be new.
Yeah, well, and this is why it's so good to have input from you all and questions from us, and to be doing this in a thoughtful manner. So just know that that will be an item that we'll ask for you guys to take a look at when you get together.
And that was the June meeting when it said we were grandfathered in. I
Okay.
watched it.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, I don't want to prolong it any, but I think I've asked at every vote that we've had, aren't the establishments grandfathered? And everybody's always said yes.
Well, we'll go back and look. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. All right. Now it's time for public comments. Before we ask for public comments, while we welcome public comments, they are limited to 4 minutes per person, 20 minutes per subject. And just remember that we follow parliamentary procedure, so we as a council aren't able to speak back to you, and it's not that we're not interested, it's just that we follow procedure. So if there's somebody that has a concern that they want to talk to their representative about afterward, we're certainly happy to connect you with your council person. Or if there's something that we as a council need to address, we will do that as well. All right, so with that being said, I have two people who have signed up for public comments. Mr. Jerry Morris.
Afternoon, good evening. Everyone had a happy new year, and I'm pleasure to be here. Appreciate the opportunity to speak to you. This is my opinion only. Council has had several meetings lately about adopting or updating new county ordinances as it relates to mobile home parks, campers, and RVs. I'm sure Derek Uten, Director of Building Codes, deserves much appreciation for his time and effort he has spent collecting and presenting information as guidelines for any future updates or changes. In listening to previous planning and zoning meetings conversations, it is clear that there is a defined path of much needed improvement, especially the design and layout of future mobile home parks. However, there is one area that I feel like needs to be pulled into these planning events, and that is some focus on the retirement process of privately owned mobile homes. Again, I say, retirement of any old, outdated, overaged mobile homes. As you ride our country roads, and there's a few inside the town limits, you'll see a lot of mobile homes abandoned, pulled over to the side, and replaced with upgraded mobile homes, and the old ones are just simply left there to fall victim to the weather element and eventually left for someone else to clean up. And I'll give you a few examples. A mobile home park on Highway 742 consisting of 12.7 acres has room for 22 spaces of mobile homes. There's 18 there. 5 of them are abandoned and show no process or progress as far as eliminating the mobile home, getting rid of it. Now, when I use the word abandoned, that shows up on the GIS map, and I don't understand all the mapping of it, but out to the side of the description of mobile home, it says abandoned. So I'm assuming it's been abandoned and left for whoever's going to clean it up. Number 2, a mobile home on Highway 742, 1.42 acres, 1 mobile home, front door standing open, covered with vines. There's a camper sitting there. Whoever owns this, the lot's kept clean, but the mobile home is an eyesore. A North Carolina owner shows up on GIS. Let me back up to number 1. Again, North Carolina owner owns that property as well. Number 3, there's a 2-acre lot close by, but the house is questionable as to whether it has living conditions or not. 1 utility building sitting there, 1 collapsed mobile home dismantled by the owner. When I say collapsed, dismantled, you see the chassis, the floor, everything else is gone. Roof laying flat on the floor. I don't know what kind of money you get out of a mobile home like that, but somebody went to a lot of trouble. Now, there's a bigger problem just sitting there with the chassis and the roof. Again, North Carolina owner showing on the property. A 5.4 acre on Davis Rivers Road with 1 unoccupied mobile home that looks abandoned, nobody lives in it, 4 to 6 parked vehicles around it, a 45-foot trailer sitting there. I'm talking about an over-the-road cargo trailer on a chassis. Again, North Carolina owner. All of the above 4 examples are related right in the same area with other mobile homes, which comes up to about 12 mobile homes sitting there. Nobody's living in it, run down. But now I'm sure you kind of catch my drift. One would think that most of these abandoned or parked mobile homes are covered with some type of loopholes to where they can just sit there and nobody has to worry about them. Maybe some type storage tax, I don't know. But certainly they're not paying the regular tax. It should be for us to have to look at it as an eyesore. A mobile home is not designed or built for storage.
Mr. Morris.
As you venture forward in
Morris.
planning, please consider closing those loopholes.
Mr.
Make it
Morris,
difficult for owners.
the 4 minutes is up.
Okay.
But thank you very much for being
Thank you.
here. Sure. We got these fancy clocks.
Can I leave this with you?
Sure, of course.
Can we just pass that around? That's a mobile home, abandoned mobile home sitting in the middle of Davis Rivers Road right now.
Thank
Been there
you.
since Christmas Day.
Thank you. Mr. Kirby Hughes?
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
My name is Kirby Hughes. Address is 2995 Highway 52 South, Churro, South Carolina. I'm here once again about an unlawful tax. My opinion is disguised as a fee. I have sent emails to the Attorney General of South Carolina, and I have emailed a letter to each of you if you'll check your emails. I believe that this is the fourth time that I'm standing before you about the same situation. I believe that I have given you adequate time to give me response, which I have not received through a phone call, a text, or email. So I guess we're taking it to the next level. As your email states, I stand here on behalf of many residents who live outside the city limits and are being charged a mandatory solid waste fee for a service they do not use, cannot access, or already pay for privately trash removal. South Carolina law is clear. A fee must provide a direct benefit to the person paying it. If it does not, it becomes an unlawful tax. That is exactly what, my opinion, is happening here. Rural residents are charged more than municipal residents, yet we receive no additional benefits. Seniors, disabled residents, and families with private trash pickup are being forced to pay for a service they do not receive. This is not fairness, this is not equal treatment, and this is not what good government looks like. We're asking for three things: suspend the fee, conduct a legal review, provide exemption for those who do not use or cannot access the service. We're not here to fight the county, but if it must come to that, according to South Carolina state law, I don't believe this is a fight that the county can win. If I must pay out of my own pocket, I am willing and able to do so, because we are here to ensure that every resident is treated fairly and lawfully. The taxpayers of Chesterfield County have a voice, and we want to be heard. In my conclusion, South Carolina law now requires counties to provide that a user fee provides a specific, direct, and unique benefit to the payer. The South Carolina Supreme Court decision in Burns versus Greenville County Council makes it clear that counties cannot impose board mandatory charges and label them as fees unless they meet strict statutory definitions, which says the fee must provide a benefit for each party paying it. The solid waste disposal fee is not benefiting all taxpayers. Therefore, the charges fail the statutory definition of a user fee under South Carolina Code 6-1-300. Counties cannot impose new taxes without General Assembly authorization. The charges were invalid. I'm asking you to review the laws of South Carolina and see, does your fee meet these requirements? Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Hughes. All right, moving on to ordinance readings and resolutions. There is a need to extend the emergency ordinance declaring temporary moratorium on the issuance of permits for the establishment of mobile home parks, RV parks, and subdivisions. Is there a motion to approve this extension?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Smallwood, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Mr. Price. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. We also have a resolution that I'm going to ask Mr. Bryant if you will read that. This is pertaining to a 4-year-old log jam that we had some assistance with. So if you will read that for us, I'd appreciate it.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a resolution commending the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources, South Carolina DNR Lance Corporal Tommy Buchanan, Global Eco Ventures, the South Carolina Office of Resilience, J.A. Steel, and Robert Collins Construction Company for their dedicated and successful efforts to remove a 4-year-old log jam on Lynches River in Chesterfield County. And the resolution reads as follows. Whereas Lynches River is one of Chesterfield County's most important natural resources, contributing critical ecological, recreational, cultural, and economic value to the citizens of Chesterfield County and the state of South Carolina. And whereas the Lynches River tributary, Little Lynches River, flows through the county, and the main river has tracts located within its watershed. And whereas A large and long-standing logjam in place for more than 4 years created significant navigational, environmental, and safety hazards along a vital stretch of Lynch's River within Chesterfield County. And whereas the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources, led by Lance Corporal Tommy Buchanan, along with Global Echo Adventures, the South Carolina Office of Resilience, J.A. Steele, and Robert Collins Construction Company, recognize the urgency of restoring the river's natural flow, ecological health, and safe accessibility for paddlers, anglers, wildlife, and future conservation initiatives. And whereas the coordinated efforts of SCDNR Lance Corporal Buchanan, SCDNR Director Dr. Tom Mulliken, and SCDNR Director of Training Eric Martin, together with technical expertise, leadership, equipment, and field support provided by Global Echo Adventures under the direction of its president, Thomas Mulliken Jr., and retired U.S. Army First Sergeant Clark Gray, as well as the support of South Carolina Office of Resilience, led by Brant Tomlinson, and the operational capabilities of J.A. Steele and Robert Collins Construction Company, resulted in the safe, efficient, and environmentally responsible removal of the 4-year-old obstruction. And whereas this successful operation demonstrates the effectiveness of collaboration among state agencies, county officials, private partners, and conservation organizations working together to safeguard and enhance South Carolina's natural resources for present and future generations. And whereas the citizens of Chesterfield County will directly benefit from the reopening of this section of Lynch's River, supporting increased outdoor recreation, ecotourism, wildlife management, and protection of one of the region's most cherished waterways. And now therefore, it be resolved that Chesterfield County Council hereby commends and expresses its sincere appreciation to the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources, Global Echo Adventures, the South Carolina Office of Resilience, J.A. Steele, and Robert Collins Construction Company for their exceptional service, dedication, and achievement in removing the long-standing logjam on Lynch's River. Be it further resolved that Chesterfield County recognizes their work as a model of environmental stewardship, public service, and partnership, and extends its gratitude for their continued commitment to preserving and protecting the natural resources of Chesterfield County.
All right, is there a motion for us to support the presentation of this? Okay, there's a motion by Mr. Curtis, second by Mr. Kirkley. Any discussion?
Only discussion I'd like to add to that I'd like to thank also Representative Yao, Representative Luck, and Representative Mitchell for their input on getting this done and all that. So I'd like to also thank them.
All right, anything else? All right, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. All right, moving on to, we have two standing committee reports, one Finance Committee. Mr. Smallwood.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On December 15th, the Finance Committee had a meeting to discuss potential measures we'd like to see implemented with the Treasurer's Office. I'll kind of run through these recommendations that we have agreed on at the Finance Committee level. To make a note that the first two become highly recommended from the internal auditors that we just recently had here in the county. The first measure we'd like to see implemented is requiring monthly reconciliation of all accounts in the Treasurer's Office and the submission of reports each month showing that all accounts are reconciled. That would eliminate us at the end of the year having problems getting our reconciliation report to our auditors. Number two, recommending that all transactions be automated, basically eliminating all manual transactions, no more handwritten receipts. Everything goes through the software that we already have in place and allows us to use audit trails and audit reports that we have available. Ensuring that all employees are cross-trained, conducting surprise audits on all cash drawers on a quarterly basis, asking the treasurer to obtain a greater understanding of the office functions. Everybody in that office needs to know how to do every job, including the top of the food chain. Ensuring that all cash drawers and bags are routinely locked, and requiring all cash to be taken and deposited at the bank by the next business day. I think when we discussed that, we talked about having an afternoon deposit. Anything that comes in after that deposit obviously would be done on the deposit the next day. It's the recommendation of the Finance Committee that full council vote on this and recommend these be implemented to the treasurer's office.
So is
So I'd
that-
like to make that in the form of a motion that we, full council, adopt these and forward them to the treasurer's office.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Smallwood, a second by Mr. Ford. Is there any more discussion? I just want to say thank you for the effort that you all have, and time that you all have taken to really think through this. And I think it's all for the betterment, and we all want each department to be successful.
Just
So,
one question.
Thank you.
Just a
Yes.
comment. The funds that be received daily would be deposited that day or the next business day.
Right. Any more questions or comments?
Just one comment.
Sure.
We just need to make sure, because this is a public official, that everything we're recommending is a recommendation.
Right.
Because we can't force the treasurer to do anything.
Exactly. We're just trying to think through ways that it could be more efficiently run, because like someone has said before, even though he's an elected official, we all, either benefit or suffer. So we just are trying to think through it together and make sure that these recommendations are something that would be beneficial. All
Well,
right.
and on the first recommendation, one of the things that we also wanted to put in there, I didn't read this part, and I apologize for that, was that on the reconciliation of the accounts, that we receive those reports the following month at our briefing, so that we can, anything that we need to address, it's kind of important for us to have that information too. So yes, it's a recommendation, but that's one of those I feel like that we need to strongly encourage, because we need that information on a monthly basis. What we'll find out at the end of our fiscal year is we won't run into having 12 months to reconcile and running out of time before the end of the year. We'll have 1 month.
And we didn't come up with these. Our auditors came up with,
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
these suggestions.
Yes, ma'am.
So, professionals. All right, any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, moving on, back to you, Mr.
Yes,
Smallwood.
and in that same meeting, the Finance Committee also, we discussed the forensic audit that had been previously approved. Ms. Stanley, I'll let you touch on this a little bit. She brought to us the possibility of doing a diagnostic audit first, and I'll let you kind of dive into that if you want.
I spoke with the external auditor because I knew council really didn't want the huge expense of a forensic audit if not necessary. So they came back to us with a proposal, and it was approximately 40 to 50 hours. It would be no more than $12,500, just like $250 an hour. But they would focus on understanding that department's structure, data availability, internal controls, and key risk areas. Then they would come back to us with a summary identifying the areas of concern and recommendations, whether a forensic audit is warranted or not. And then any amount that was paid towards this, if we determined that a forensic audit is needed, then the amount that we pay for this diagnostic will go towards that amount. But, this approach allows the county to make an informed decision while protecting against unnecessary expense. So that's what we would like to propose, instead of just going into a direct forensic audit, doing this diagnostic.
So is that in the form of a motion?
Yeah, I'd like to make that in the form of a motion.
Okay.
Second.
All right, there's a second by Bishop McClendon. Any more discussion?
Yeah, this group, this group that we're talking to is totally independent, non-biased, professional. This is what they do, and have came at a recommendation.
Any more? All right, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Smallwood, you're back up. Planning and zoning.
All right, on December 10th, the Planning and Zoning Committee met just for an update from Mr. Uten on the temporary moratorium and kind of where we were with PD COG. He shared with us some ideas that he had for the forthcoming report from PD COG. Some of the things we've been looking at is major versus minor subdivisions, maybe some different ordinances for each of those. We should have an update from PD COG. They have understood our urgency and have kind of responded to the bell. We should have an update from them by the end of the week. At that point, we'll go ahead and schedule a planning and zoning meeting once we give Mr. Uten a couple of days to kind of look through that as he presents it to us. So by our briefing in 2 weeks, we should have something on the books as far as a planning and zoning meeting, so we can start moving forward with kind of finalizing some of these details.
All right.
I think that covers, that should be, if there's any questions.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Do I need to add anything to that?
Once we get that meeting date, we'll make sure that the public knows. So if any of you want to come to the planning and zoning meeting, you're welcome to do that too. All right. Items submitted by council. Mr. Ford for a convenience center update.
So this will kind of go towards, speaking to this gentleman here, I can't remember his name, I'm very sorry.
Kirby.
Mr. Hughes, okay. Mr. Hughes, I couldn't respond to you in the previous platform where we were at, so this will be a time for just some dialogue on the trash situation, but also something else that I had ran into. So on the Pageland Inn at Brock Road and Horace Price Road, there was approximately 2 trailer loads of trash that was dumped all in 2 piles on the shoulder of the road. Reached out to the sheriff's office, talked to Spence Vaughn. He was very willing to try to help, so he reached out to Mr. Huggins over DOT. DOT, I wasn't a part of the conversation, but it was told to me that DOT said that it could potentially have hazardous materials in there, and they're not allowed to put that type of material on their trucks. So they basically told us good luck, that it was our issue. So after a few phone calls, I think Mr. Huggins ended up changing his mind and decided that he would go and pick that trash up, or have his people go pick it up. With that being said, there's a lot of trash issues on the sides of the road that DOT is not addressing. And it is like pulling hen's teeth to get them to do anything, and it's unfortunate. So I know it's not our problem, because we like to use the excuse, you know, is it a state road, is it a county road, and how we should address those things, and that's very easy for us to do. But my position is right now, these small self-loader trucks, like the municipalities are using for sometimes storm debris and things like that. I know it's not necessarily our burden, but I feel like it's our burden as a community that we need to look at a way to see if DOT is not going to do their part and going to make it really difficult on us to try to clean up this county. On these roads, there's couches and chairs and mattresses and everything else sitting all over. So I'd spoken to Ms. Lynn Shepherd and also Ms. Stanley about, you know, how could we acquire one of these, and was there any way we could get any help to do that? If we, you know, we spend some grant money that comes through Palmetto Pride every year. They give us a allotted amount of money, and we were hiring an outside company to come in and pick up some of this trash and be able to haul it off. So I'd spoken to them about, you know, do we think we can get one of these trucks so we can let our employees do it on an as-needed basis to go around and try to clean up the community. So I'll let her speak to that as far as the Palmetto Pride.
Yeah. I've contacted them, but I hadn't got an answer back, hoping that, you know, because they've been giving us like $25,000 at least 1 to 2 times a year. So I'm hoping that, you know, once I talk to them and propose the idea that they see that it's countywide, they'll fund more money. So just as soon as I can, you know, find out from them. But I've touched base, and I'm researching to see if they have any of this equipment on state contract to see what the pricing. But I know that I've found that there's some used ones like for around $175,000. But so I'm hoping that, you know, we can get Palmetto Pride.
Well, we just set it on fire instead of spending $175,000.
So then we go back to the convenience centers. I think there had been some really positive changes that were recommendations that were brought to us, and thank you for your input on that. I think either some or all of those have been addressed in some way and have changed the logistics inside the convenience center to make it a little bit easier to access, even with a little higher volume. So that is a bonus. So I also asked if we could get some numbers on the tonnage increases for the convenience centers to see if this is a viable option with the trash service the way it is. Because one of the things I heard you say, Mr. Hughes, was that the law states that it has to be something that everybody can receive.
Benefit from.
So my rebuttal to that is the only reason that they're not receiving it is because they're choosing not to use it, but it is very readily available for everyone. And that same argument could be for if you never have to call 911, but it's available there for you, isn't an illegal tax that you having to pay for police, fire, EMS? That's apples to apples to me. So I appreciate your willingness to come up here, because of all people, I love somebody that'll come and beat the drum for what they truly believe in, and I appreciate that. So don't take it in a negative manner. What I'm saying is, when I take these numbers to see the household trash increase, right here showing us a 23% increase on household trash. So my question is, where was that trash going previously? Because there's no landfill locally here that's going to take that household trash. So where was it going? Was that trash going on the side of the road, or, where was it going? I don't know the answer to that. Brown goods increased 52% and scrap metal increased 35%. And that's since we made the change to the new system. And it's no fault of your own, but when you look at the trash fee, you see $38. But from being on finance and after us going through everything on finance, you were already paying $19 out of your property tax bill towards that service anyway, because the money that was collected at the convenience centers before did not cover the actual cost of that service. If that makes sense. So even before this, without knowing, you were contributing the $19 of the $38. But with these numbers that were given to us with the increase in tonnage, I believe that this is being useful to a lot more people than were using it before. I myself have paid trash. My mother, who lives beside me, has paid for trash. So I totally understand that argument. But as a whole, I do believe that this is the right decision as a whole. And if somebody comes in with an AG opinion that says that we did something illegal, then we will have to go back. But this wasn't anything we reinvented the wheel on, because I don't know how many other counties, but it's a lot of other counties have already been doing this for years and years and years. Not saying that's legal, but sometimes it sets a precedent. So, but feel free to get a AG opinion. If we done something wrong, I'll be the first one to say we didn't know. So I hope that gives some clarity, even though I'm sure it doesn't change your mind. But thank you for what you do.
All right, thank you. All right, I appreciate that. Mr. Ford, we have 3 items submitted by staff. The first is the bid award, Hillcrest Lane and Road. Heather Phelps.
Thank you. An invitation for bids was issued for the paving of Hillcrest Lane and Hillcrest Road. 5 responsive bids were received as noted on the enclosed bid tab. It is recommended that council approve acceptance of the bid from Kershaw Builders in the amount of $1,327,617.50. And this is a CTC project paid with CTC funds.
Mr. Phelps, how long is this road? I know I thought you would have told, I'm sorry.
That's okay, let's wait till discussion.
Okay.
Is there a motion to accept this recommendation by staff?
I make a motion.
All right, there's a motion by Dr. Brand, second by Mr. Smallwood. Any discussion?
Yes, ma'am, I'd just like to know
Sure.
how long what do we get for $1.3 million? How much payment? What's it costing per foot? But I mean, I'm hitting you with it cold, and we can get those numbers later, ma'am.
Yeah, we'll have to get that for you.
It's actually coming out of the CTC money, they
Right.
correct? Okay.
Yeah.
So Michelle, explain CTC money to folks who are
CTC
here.
money comes from the state, and we have our local CTC branch here. They get state money and county money. And so they allot, the county, that's how we've been able to pave all the roads. We haven't even resurfaced some of the ones. Actually, we had our meeting this morning, and we're looking at resurfacing 2 of the county roads that we done years and years ago. But that's the same, pot of money where they're actually giving us a lot of the gravel, it comes from the gas tax for the gravel right now.
Which we're still paying for because it's coming off the gas tax.
Yeah.
But it comes to our county, and that's a different entity that makes decisions regarding that.
And it's not just straight from our citizens.
Right,
Right.
right. All right,
I'd
any
like
more?
to say one thing too.
Sure.
And the one thing I've learned since being on council is when a road ends up on this list and it comes to us, it didn't just get there in the last few months. There's a process. It gets
Right.
on the list, it goes through a survey. There's all kinds of legal issues they have to work out before they'll pave that road. So this road has very likely been on this list for
Oh, yeah.
5, 10 years. And they're just next up, basically. If it's a newly paved road and not a resurface, it's been on the list for quite some time.
And it's been a minute since I heard this, so don't hold me to this figure exactly, but I was told that it was $1 million a mile to resurface and about 1.5 to start from scratch. So I don't know if that's exactly right, but just to give you kind of ballpark numbers.
I've heard some.
That's why they've chose to go to gravel, a lot of them, because it's
Right.
getting so expensive to pave.
There's about a $400,000 difference from Kershaw Builders to Evans Pavement. We recommend the lowest bidder. Is that a wise decision?
Yeah, our engineering firm, they will actually go through the bids and make sure it's accurate and make sure that they have the correct quantities of everything.
Okay.
And they'll actually compare to see what the difference, one may be higher on.
Okay.
On it, and see, some of them have their in-house, some of their stuff's in-house, so that's how they actually can bid it
A
lower.
little bit lower, okay.
And they also, just because you probably don't know this, Mr. Brand, we also have someone who represents our best interests who manages the project to make sure that it's done according to what the bid was supposed to be for quality as well.
That's
Okay.
right. Yeah, thank you, good point. All right, any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, Ms. Stanley, PD cog agreement for technical assistance to building codes.
We do the parking lot first.
Oh, gosh, I was looking at my other one, sorry. Let's go back to parking lot. That's what I get for bringing my other one. All right, let's go to Ms. Feltz again, paving the Chesterfield DPH.
Okay. An invitation for bids was issued for the paving of the Chesterfield Department of Public Health parking lot. One bid was received as noted on the enclosed bid tab, and it is recommended that council approve acceptance of the bid from Fur Grading and Paving in the amount of $345,656.40. And this is being paid for with the CDBG grant. The county's part is $100,000 towards the engineering.
Okay, and CDBG is Community Development Block Grant money. All right, so there's a motion. I'll take a motion. I'll entertain a motion.
So move.
Okay, Mr. Kirkley, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to accept this. Any discussion?
So this is being paid for by a grant, and it is a piece of county property that's being done on.
Right. All right, any more? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, moving on to C. This is for you, Ms. Stanley, technical assistance to building codes by PD cog.
Yes, PD cog, as you're aware, has helped us with our planning and zoning, planning meeting at the end of the month. And so the contract has come up, but we want to request if we could use them like 6 more months to continue to make sure that building codes department's doing everything correctly, because they have to get all the meetings together, they have to do the agenda, and so and then plan actually, do the meeting each month. So they wanted to know if we could utilize them for 6 more months, which would be $4,000. And I think that after that we should be able to do it ourselves.
Okay. Is there a motion to accept this recommendation?
Motion.
All right, there's a motion by Bishop McClendon. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Smallwood. Any more discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, now, Accommodations Tax Committee recommendations for 2025, 2026. Ms. Phelps.
The Accommodations Tax Committee has reviewed the grant applications for the ATAX funds and has recommended that funds be dispersed as set forth in the attached document. It is requested that council approve these grants requests at this time.
Will you read them out, please, just so that everyone hears them here?
Okay. The town of Sherrall is $8,000. The town of Chesterfield is $16,000. The town of Pageland is $8,000. Sherrall State Park, $7,500. H. Cooper Black Field and Trial Recreation Area, $7,500. Old English District Tourism Commission, $8,000. And Sand Hills National Wildlife Refuge, $2,000.
Thank you. And this is all from accommodations taxes, so not from our budget directly. Is there a motion to accept this recommendation?
If she can just tell us again, what is these funds being paid out for again for parking?
They're for the various towns through our accommodations taxes.
Accommodation, okay, that's good.
Okay. All right.
So moved, Mr.
All right, there's a motion by Mr. Curtis. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Brand. Any more discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, thank you. We have no unfinished business, no new business. Board appointments. Mr. Price would like to appoint Derek Uten to be his representative on the grievance committee. I assume that'll be in the form of a motion from you?
I'd like to motion that, please.
Okay, sure. All right, so motion by Mr. Price. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Curtis. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Mr. Uten, for your willingness to be on that. Ms. Stanley, Joint Planning Commission.
Okay, PDCOG has notified us that Mr. John Martin's term for the Joint Planning Commission has ended, and we need to appoint someone else because that would be the council's MACB, or not MACB, I'm sorry, council's fourth member. You know, we have four that's on that committee, so his term has expired. So I actually went ahead and contacted him to see if, I didn't know if y'all wanted to reappoint him or what, but I went ahead and contacted him and asked him would he be willing to serve, and he said he would be. So if y'all want to appoint someone else or see if you would like to reappoint him.
Is there a motion to accept Ms. Stanley's recommendation of John Martin?
Motion.
Second.
All right, Bishop McClendon, seconded by Ms. Burns. Any discussion?
Yeah, anybody want to serve, and they faithful, make sure we reappoint them. Hard to find good people.
Well, and I will say, Mr. Martin is present, and he's
Yes.
vocal, and he brings a lot to the table. So I
Very active.
appreciate the time that he's given us, and I appreciate his willingness to continue that service.
Absolutely.
All right, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Stanley.
The only thing I have is I just want to remind everybody that, of the legislative dinner Wednesday at 6 p.m. at White Plains.
And she did say White Plains.
Yes,
Just have to put it in my brain. I'm used to
because
going
it's
to the
usually at
other.
the sheriff's office.
So I hope everybody has RSVP'd, or hope that as many of us who can be there will be there. I have an announcement. Friday, January the 30th at 11 o'clock, McLeod Hospital is going to be celebrating its groundbreaking for our new hospital, which if you all don't know this, it's pretty unprecedented for this amount of investment to be made in rural areas. So we are incredibly thankful. It's going to be an over $60 million project. So if you would like to come out to support that, you're certainly welcome to do so.
It's
And
gonna be located where?
it's at the hospital. So what's going to happen is where the hospital is now is going to be the parking lot eventually. They're going to build behind it, right? But there'll be parking, and we would love to have as many folks there to celebrate this. And hopefully it'll be a quick turnaround, just a couple of years.
We're lucky to have McLeod.
I wanted to make sure that you all know that you're invited to that, all of you. Then county briefing is going to be on the 20th rather than the 16th at 9 o'clock. So put that on your calendar. And then the county's Connect Day for SCAC is Wednesday, the 18th. I'd love to have as many of us there for that, too. That's an opportunity for us to speak with our delegation members. And I know that some of us are more active than others already with talking to folks, but it really is a good opportunity for us to see everybody in one day. So that's what I had. Is there anybody else that has an announcement?
What day did you say Counties Connect was what?
It's the 18th. Any other announcements?
The briefing is on the 20th, right?
Right, that's right.
At 9 o'clock.
That's it. Okay, We have two needs to go into executive session. Mr. Bryant, I'm going to send it to you.
Yes, at this time, council, pursuant to South Carolina Code Section 3470A1, councilors entering into executive session for the discussion of employment, appointment, compensation, promotion, demotion, discipline, or release of an employee relating to the sheriff's office. And pursuant to South Carolina Code Section 3470A2, council is entering into executive session for the discussion of negotiations, incident, proposed contractual agreements, the receipt of legal advice where the legal advice relates to a pending, threatened, or potential claim, or other matters covered by the attorney-client privilege relating to the treasurer's office. Council may take action by voting upon the matters referenced in agenda items 18A and/or 18B after exiting executive session.
Okay, is there a motion to go into executive session?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? We will break for about 10 minutes before, so all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Now out of executive session. We're now out of executive session where no motions were made or votes were taken. We did discuss a couple of issues. Is there a motion for item A, 18A?
I'd like to make a motion to extend the solicitor's budget, I guess, for funding for to continue the new hire solicitor that we currently have in place, right?
Okay, yes. So there's a motion to award the solicitor's office the position that we already have budgeted.
We already have him budgeted, right. Budgeted.
Okay, there's a motion by Mr. Price, second by Dr. Brand. Any more discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, is there any other business?
I make a motion that we send a letter to the governor in reference to the situation that we discussed earlier to get the ball rolling
Let me make,
in terms of the treasurer.
let's clarify that motion.
Yeah, we need a, he did. He said in terms of the treasurer's office. Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Would
All
you
in-
restate that motion?
Okay, will you restate your motion?
I make a motion that we send a letter to the governor in terms of the treasure situation.
I'll clarify that. I think just a little bit more for the public. The motion is to send a letter to the state treasurer and the South Carolina governor from council stating your concerns with the leadership of the treasurer's office.
That is my motion.
Okay, there's a motion by Bishop McClendon, second by Mr. Ford. Any discussion?
Question. Just for clarity purposes, is that immediately or post-diagnostic audit letter?
That's immediately.
Immediately, fair enough.
All right, immediately. Any more discussion? Hearing not. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Okay, I need hands raised. Okay,
Everybody.
all right, motion carries. That's all we have. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we go home?
You may.
I make a motion
All
that
right.
we adjourn.
Dr. Brand, Mr. Curtis seconded. All in favor? We made it our first evening meeting.